And good morning. I'm going to get a little early start today. Let's do our technical checks to just make sure that everything's working. Yep, we got audio. Okay, good. Don't want to mute myself like I've done way too many times on these things. Okay, so apologize for last Friday's stream. Unfortunately, when emergencies happen, like the neighboring building catches fire, apparently it was a battery charger for a forklift leaked, and so the fumes got into the building vent, so they had to evacuate the building. Thankfully, the kids were all outside, so not a big deal. They were enjoying playing in the water and splish splashing, so it wasn't too bad, but it was just a week filled with a whole bunch of other mishaps that had happened, and good way to end it. So today we're going to work on finishing out the UI for the Dungeon Fodder tiles, at least the framework, get things going. I'm trying to remember here. I looked at it briefly this morning. We've got to finish linking in the hit point bar. We got to link in the action point bar. We got to bring in the items for each of the characters. We got to hitch up the combat logger, and we got to move the action bar over to the side. So those are the key things that we got to do today. I've also brought in a couple things if we have some time to get like the wizard's icons for his fireball and things like that. I finally found where it was. It was True Heroes like 3 and 4 had their icons buried in another file somewhere. So I brought those over and some UI stuff over. I don't know if I'll be applying the actual UI stuff to it today, because remember we changed the resolution. We went from 320 by 200 to 640 by 360, I think it is. Sounds about right. 180, yeah, 360. And so the icons are again or not the icons, the UI sprites are all designed to work with the lower resolution, so scaling them up may just not look right. We'll probably try it, but that's not like key to trying to get this ready for an alpha test. So let's go over and look at our document here. Where am I here? That's the splash screen. We don't want to go back to that. Here we go. So we did get the initiative order in. We did get the characters to load. We have not done the combat log yet. We have not made a title screen. And equitable add actions. I don't know if we're going to use this as add actions. I think this is just going to be, we're going to click on them and use them instead. Back to town to replace. Oh, we have not done that yet. Okay. Yeah, so that's where we are on that. Let's just reviewing some of these items, because right now we've only got the 4 right here, right? These, whoops, don't want to edit that. We've only got these 4, the basic starting weapons, and that's all we've got so far in there for our characters. And let's see, whoops, there we go. Over here. Oh, and I did want to bring up here, Can Evan had some feedback here for last week's video, and talking about like the transforms pretty cool. We can just blow stuff up. I mean, that's an awesome feature, Godot 4.7. But he has a couple other ideas of adding like maybe a turn tracker in with the gold, and maybe adding an active actor on the initiative bar so he animates. My idea for that initiative bar, let me just go ahead and load this up here so I can talk through before we start our timer, is I'm going to have portraits. So these right here are going to be portraits. Same with on the initiative bar. These will be portraits versus actual animated stuff. I do kind of want to do like maybe have some way to indicate like a poison condition or a bleeding condition or something like that for them. So that's kind of where I'm thinking with that, but I don't want to have an animated icon up there. I want to keep all the animation stuff down here in the center. Yeah, so we're gonna finish building this out today. We're gonna get all these items loaded up. We'll get the bars here lined up. The thing that I've noticed, at least when I was testing this on my laptop, was when I play this text does not come out clear. That's over top of the bars. So I think what we're probably have to do is we probably have to thicken the bars up and make that text just a little bit bigger so it's easier to read. Um, and I'm trying to think if there's some other stuff. I know there's a lot of other things, but what I would like to do today, we'll get the framework all connected and working. Again, we'll get this finished up over here. We'll get the combat logger working. This, I'm just going to kind of leave this for right now. I don't know. In my original plan, I had the dungeon run info. Oop, of course, that's going to zoom wrong. There we go. I had the dungeon run info down here in that bottom corner. I don't know if that's going to be useful, at least for the alpha test, where I can get people to actually play it and find some bugs and find some general feedback. I don't want to go too deep into polishing things. Like right now we just have the fireball. We have a quick little animation of him casting, but we don't have the fireball actually exploding and all that stuff. I don't really want to go too deep into that level of polish until I can get all the basic features working. One of the other things Ken Evan did talk about doing in the UI is having a dice tray. I mean, maybe we could use this as the dice tray, and we'll put our dice down in here. I don't know. It's an idea. Um, I kind of feel like, because this is, again, it's a board game, so I kind of feel like the dice need to be in the main board game window. And I don't know if let me see if I have it on this one. I don't think I do. Do I have the dice? No, I don't have the dice project on this system. I've been trying to make some new dice rolling stuff because I like the idea we had for this game where the dice faces are just an array and we randomly, weighted array, and we just randomly pick them. And so I created a dice rolling thing, and it actually has kind of the simulation of the dice bouncing around, and then it lightens them all up on the bottom of the screen. I really like that, and I think I might bring that into here to replace what we have. So that's where I think I might go with that, because I kind of want them have them up here and not like down here or in a dice box. Um, a dice box kind of feels more like a Baldur's Gate 3 or something like that. I feel like that would work better because then you have like that realistic video gamey style view, and then you can have like a little dice box off to the side. You go, yeah, I'm playing a role playing or a tabletop game. But I feel like this is very much the forefront of this is it's a board game, so you want to kind of keep that board game aspect. So with that, let's jump over to, I'm going to close this out. So we got to work on the UI. We are at, let's just double check again, 64.2 hours. I've updated my tracking thing a little bit. Right now, if I charge my current rate that I get paid for programming at 65 an hour, it's cost me about $4,200 to make this so far. So that's, I know it's not a realistic figure, but that's kind of where I like to think about how much time I've spent on things, and I can look to see how much I'm making or losing. So, okay, so let's start our timer on this. Oh wait, we were at 64.2. Yeah. Okay, so let's start our timer and let's get working over here on this. So we were working on the party member box. We've got this. I think I want to make this thicker. So let's make this, where are we here? Layout, container sizing. Excuse me. Sorry. Water in the wrong pipe. Ah. Okay. That's a great way to start a stream where I accidentally swallow spit down the wrong pipe and now I can't talk. Okay, let's make this 8. Don't worry, my voice will come back eventually. Okay, XP bar, there it is. I think that will work better. Let's just see what this looks like here. Yeah, I think that's a lot easier to read and it's not going to screw with the text too bad. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here for our AP bar. We'll just copy that down here. We'll paste this in. Okay, we'll make this a minimum size of 8. Okay, and then this, I believe, if I set the value here, we did not make that green. Okay, so let's go down here. Let's do our overrides, our styles, our fill, flat, and then we'll make this a nice green. James, howdy. Glad to have you stop by the stream and take a look at what I'm working on. Okay. If you guys haven't seen, Night Raven Games has a sorry, I'm already forgetting the name. Steam powered Tycoon game over on itch. If you're a fan of like Railroad Tycoon and stuff like that, go ahead and check that out here. It's still in the early stages, but I think it's got a lot of promise. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I've had a rough week, in case you can't tell from my voice and stuff like that, but so far so good. Got my coffee, so hopefully that'll make my morning going better. Steam powered Tycoon, soon to be renamed Empire of Steam. Cool. Okay, so we got this. So now this will be linked to our AP. Okay, so now we just have to hook this up. So we've got the party member here, and we've got the update bars. Here's the max value. That's the HP bar. So we're going to do the same thing here for the AP bar. AP bar. And we don't have the AP bar in here yet. Boom. Okay, we got AP bar. So, whoops. That doesn't help if I copy the wrong thing. It's only one letter. I know I could have done it the other way, but okay. And then we just have to jump back over. We have to thanks for the shout out. You're welcome for the shout out. It's I look forward to it because I'm definitely I love model trains growing up. I kind of wanted to get my son into them, but unfortunately around here it's almost impossible to find model trains anywhere, and I don't. I got the Lego Duplo trains for him, but that's the closest he ever came, and he didn't really get into it too much. Let's go look at our actor. How did we do this? Do we have current? When we did the refactor, where did we put the AP? We put it on the turn manager, on the turn node, I think it was. Turn manager. Here we go. Turn node. Do you have a favorite locomotive? Trying to think. I don't know my locomotives that well, like exactly what they are. Growing up, there was either, I always liked nice, good old steam train, but my soft spot was always for the Union Pacific locomotives. I don't know why. Just for some reason, that color design and the look were just always the ones that appealed to me were the Union Pacific ones, and I just loved them. Let's see here. So where did we put our AP? I think it's in the turn node. Yeah, they are huge. There was always God, what was it? The big boy and the challenger. I I think like 15-year-old James could have answered that better. I don't remember, honestly. But I recognize those names, but I could not tell you the difference anymore. But I know 15-year-old me definitely could. Let's take a look here. Turn node. Nope, it's not turn node. Where did we put the AP? I thought we put it in the actor when we did the refactor. Action complete, HP. Move points. Action points. Here we go. Action points. Okay. Valid. I have some that take inspiration from those planned as well as the UP turbines. There's another one I always liked and never like had. I'm trying to remember what it was now. It was a big honking silver engine with a red front, and it had, I feel like it had like a yellow like highlight right around the edge of the red, and I can still remember like the picture of it. One giant central light in the middle. It looked like it was ready to pull like passenger cars and stuff like that, but I can't remember now. I always liked it because it just looked like massive, like a tank that was about ready to roll through things. So before I derail chat completely, what are you working on? I am making a tile-based dungeon crawler where you basically, as you explore, you draw tiles from a stack and put it down and make a game board for your fantasy characters to move across. It's kind of styled after Hero's Quest and the Dungeon and Dragons venture board game system. I know that. Pretty sure that was the engine that got me hooked. Yeah. Okay, so the action points are in the actor here. And where do we set the maximum? On ready. Start the move, physics process. There was I think it was in turn manager. Did we not? We didn't do a setter for these, did we? Okay. Well, we'll just use these for now then. I have a Steam version in the background of my main menu in my game. Oh, cool. I did not notice when I tried it. Okay, let's see here. So this is going to equal... Can we update the AP bar? Okay, so we don't have these signals set up yet. Okay, so we're just going to do this. I'm going to just get rid of this entirely. AP bar max value is going to equal... this is the character. Whoops, character. CHARACTER. There we go. Dot action points. Yeah, I don't like, because we don't have a setter here, so we're not actually finding what the maximum is. Because when we do, I think it's in the turn manager, when we reset, we set the action points here. Action points equals value. We have one so that when we add in extra action points, we can add it, I thought. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe it was just because it was an item I thought of that. Yeah, I don't think we actually did a setter for it. because here we have all the setters for getting the stat modifier. Well, let's add that in. Let's do that then. Let's just make sure. I want to make sure that I'm not losing my mind. Where is this here? You get action points, set actor action points. Where is our, here we go, start turn. Actor.max. Oh, there is a max action points. Okay. How did I miss that? Where was that? Oh, it's right here. Max. Wow. Yep. Okay. So let's do there. Okay. So then that should set up that bar, our current action points. We do not have the we do not have the text set up right now to update properly. Okay, so let's see. Who do we have? We have, boom. This is the priest. He's one of these. I don't know which one he is because we didn't give him an actual image yet. Because, oh, right, because we don't have a signal yet to say that the AP has changed. So what we need here, we'll build it out here. Character AP changed. Update AP bar. Okay. You know what? We should probably keep the same style here. Let's do that. Current AP. Max AP. Okay. And then this could just be max AP. And then this will just be current AP. Okay. So then what we need to do is we need to set up this signal in the character. Okay. HP changed, so we're going to just copy this one, slightly changed. AP changed, current AP, max AP. Okay. So then when we come down here and we spend an action point, so this, we should do a, where do we do the movement, moving? Where's our HP? Here we go, HP. So we want to basically do this type stuff. So let's do, this is the only place we're emitting that changed. Okay, so let's do a version of that. And let's do action points here. Okay, so let's do, comment this out. We're going to take action points. Set that to 0 by default. Set value old AP equals action points. Oops, action points. Action points, clamp value, comma max, action points. Okay. AP changed, emit current AP. It's not that, it's action points. Action points, max, action points. Okay. We don't need this because we don't need to worry about that. Okay. So that should now transmit our action points value, so then we can update stuff accordingly. Okay, so that should update the bar. So if we go here, when it's their turn, that should update. Yep, there you go. The bar updated. Okay, and then so when I move, that should spend 1. So that's half the bar. Move again. Yep, that's the rest of the bar. Okay, so let's just get the text hitched up now. This is our max. So let's call this max HP. And this one's going to be called current HP. We're going to do the same thing here. Current AP, and this will be our max AP. Okay. Do we want to use it on ready? Nah, we don't need to use it on ready. Okay, so we'll do max HP here. Oh man, you know what? Let's make this look nice. Let's use those as unique names just so it's looks nicer. Max HP dot text equals the string value of max HP. Okay, and then this one's going to be where we call it current. Current HP, string value of current HP. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing down here for these. Max HP, current AP. Text is the string value of max. There we go. String value of current AP. Okay. What did I just do? I did something wrong. Oh, whoops. Current AP.text. There we go. Okay, so now that should update also this text. Yeah, 8, 5, 4. Okay. And then so when it's this guy's turn, why didn't it? Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to do this right at the beginning too. If a character, we connect it, but we didn't update the AP bar. Let's update the AP bar to start with. Action points, character dot max action points. Okay, now that should update our bars right off. Yep, there we go. Okay, let's do. Okay, so we got that. We got that. We need to now get the pouches loaded up. Okay, so the characters have an inventory. I think I called it pouch. What did I call it? Equipped pouch. Okay. Let's go back into here. This panel container. And sorry, I was getting in a roll and I missed the chat. It's based on the ATSF Super Chef or Super Chief. The menu load different constraints per star. Oh, okay. Okay. Right back, gotta get an afternoon snack. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do now is each of our characters has 4 items in their pouch. So then we have to loop through the pouch array and then populate each one of these containers. Oh, the question is, do we want to make it down here in a separate? I feel like I want to keep this all contained up here with this party member. So let's do this. Let's call this pouch, P-O-U-C-H. Okay. So then we'll come in here. We're going to bring in the pouch because we're going to need that. Let's call setup update pouch, P-O-U-C-H. Here we go. And we're going to send the character dot pouch what do we call it? Equipped pouch? Yeah, equipped pouch. There we go. Okay. So let's do a function update pouch. And that's going to become, what do we just want to call it? Pouch, P-O-U-C-H. It's an array of item data, I believe. Item data. Let me just, whoops, wrong arrow here. Let me just go back and double check our actor just to make sure that that is what we gave it. Equip pouch is an array of item data. Okay, perfect. Okay. So when we update the pouch, what we probably want to do is we want to do for C in pouch. Oh, whoops, we call it pouch here. We don't want this. We want pouch contents. There we go. Pouch contents. For C in pouch, P-O-U pouch dot get children. Wow. C-H-I-L-D get children. Okay. Then we'll do C dot queue-free. Oh, no. We don't really want queue-free because we want to leave the empty containers. So I think what we're probably going to do is we'll set these to null. These probably need to be their own scene Think about how we want to do this. Well, for right now, let's just get this built. Proceed and queue free. Yeah, let's build these as their own scene. Okay, so let's do this panel container. Let's call this pouch, pouch slot. There we go. Okay, so let's build this as a new scene here. Where am I? Where am I? Save branches scene. Here we go. Shop town. Where's our inventory? Do we have an inventory? Core components. Inventory. Here we go. Okay, we'll call the. Actually, this should be in the UI because this is part of the UI. So pouch slot. Okay. And then this is a panel container. Perfect. Okay. So in here, what did we set these at? These are set for, they're 16 by 16. Okay. So let's go here. Let's zoom in so we can work on this. Perfect. Okay. So this is 16 by 16. I kind of want to set the maximum on this so it always stays, but we're going to work on the UI, making it scalable and stuff like that. So let's see what else we got here. Okay, so we need add child node. So this is a panel container. We need a texture rect. We also need, you know what we need? We need, oh no, not a texture rect. Let's get rid of that. Let's add a button. Button.
What kind of button are you thinking about? I can help with different types of buttons.
Alexa, stop.
What you need.
Never even came close to saying her name, so I have no idea why she started talking. Okay, so we have a button, and then what we can do is we can make the texture or the icon of the button equal the item texture. Okay, so let's add in pouch slot. We need an export var item. That's going to be item data. Okay, and then let's do a function ready. And then if item, if item. Then we're going to also bring in our button. Button.icon equals item dot what we call it, item dot icon. I think that's what we called it. Let's bring up our item data and just double check that. Item, we don't have it listed right there. Item data. Icon, yeah, that's our texture 2D. Okay, perfect. Okay, so that will make the button equal that. Let's make sure that our, where are we? Button, icon behavior, expand it so it stretches. Keep it centered. Okay, so that should be fine there. We don't want the text equal to anything because we just want the image of it. You know, we could do, where's the hover or the button hint? It's over here somewhere. Text behavior. Where's our hint? Hint. I swear we had a hint. Oh, tooltip. That's what it's called. Tooltip. Helps if I spell tool right. Tooltip text. Okay, so this is what we want to do. So if I do, whoops. So if I do button.tool tooltip text, and that can equal the item dot description, DSCRI item description. There we go. So then if we hover over it, it should give us the item description. So then we'll know what it needs to have. Okay, so then we'll do this. If there's not an item, then we just do button.icon equals null. Null, because it's a texture. And then button.tooltip will just equal blank. Okay. We'll come back. We'll get this wired up so then we can actually use it. But I just want to make sure we can get this populating first. So this is our pouch slot scene. Okay. So this is a pouch slot right there. Okay. So then let's close this and let's go back up here. We need our pouch slot scene. We need to do this up here. So we get a constant. And then it's probably not the most efficient way. We should probably just go through and update them. Yeah, we'll just do this right now. For slot in pouch contents. And then we're going to do a var new slot. And that's going to equal our, what we call this again, pouch slot dot instantiate. Oops, equals, not colon, equals. Instantiate, okay, new slot dot item is going to equal our pouch content, or not pouch contents. We're going through the for loop slot dot item equals just slot, because this is just going to equal the item in the array. Okay, so then that will set up that, and then that should add all that stuff, and then we can just add child. Oh, wait, we need to put this in the pouch, pouch dot add child, and then we can put in the new slot. Okay. Wow, spelling this morning. Okay, pouch dot add new child. Okay, so that should give us all that. By default, our pouch should have null, so we should have 4 slots for everybody. So in theory, if this is done right now when we run the game, everybody should have 4 pouches. Yep, we have 4 pouches and they're all buttons. Okay, so now we run our game and we go shopping. And who are we on right now? We're on, oh, well, we'll just buy a bunch of potions. Let's go to our equip on our rogue. Let's put on a couple potions. Priest, give him the other 2. Okay, so let's go run. Hey, look at that. There's our potions. They're all populated. That's not the priest. Did I put those in the wrong place? Anyway. Did I equip those in the right? Hold on. Now I'm curious. Did I pay attention right? Okay, so let's go see here. Let's go equip. Let's put 1 on the wizard. I haven't hooked these up yet, so that's why they're not showing there. And 2 on the priest, and the last one on the rogue. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so I apparently have my equip thing set up wrong, or I have this set up wrong. One of the two. Let's see. You know what? It'll be a lot easier if we look. Did I do something stupid? Like, did I put the barbarian image on the priest? Because that sounds like something I would do. Where is our avatar? Nothing. Okay. Where's our equip screen? Equip character. Set the tab. I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. I think what I'm doing is, because I'm doing it by a index of the order loaded, and that's how I'm assigning who's in what, or what items go to what slot. It's accidentally going to the wrong character, which seems, it's how I'm doing the pouch. Yeah, so I'll have to get that fixed. Okay. So now that I've been distracted by that, so this loads up. We have these. Um, they are buttons. We'll just have to use item.use because our item script, I think we have the use, right? Item. Item data. Yep, we have use. Copy. So then if we come back into here and we go into this, and then we can just do here button.pressed.connect item. We'll just call it use item. Use item. Wow. Wow. Typing hard, huh? Let's see. Item.use we'll call. There. So then that'll do that. There's definitely some more stuff I have to do to get that all hooked up and make it work properly. But that's there. Let's also do button. If it's not, let's do, this is on the ready function. So this is when it first comes in. How many hours are you at right now? I'm right around 65 hours into this. So I made the mistake, mistake of refactoring, which took probably about 8 hours of doing things, but it's definitely helped save me some time going forward because of that. Let's see here. Let's just do our safety check here. If button.pressed is connected, okay, so if it's not connected, then connect it. Cutting it close. Refactor, it took 80 days. Yeah, it was a well-planned refactor, but it was a lot of, throughout the stream, I kept saying, I'm kicking this can down the road. We need to address it eventually. We need to address it eventually. And I think I got to like a 12 pack going down the road. And I was like, okay, now we need to fix it. Okay, so if it's not connected, connect it. This, we can do this. If button.press is connected, then we can just disconnect it. Okay. And then, you know what I should do? I'm going to take this, cut this out. I'm just going to put this into an update function. So then when we change the slot, we can just quickly call an update. Update. And then we'll just put this all right here. Boom. Okay. So item use, and then we can just, we'll call the update there. Boom. 125 hours total according to the notes. For your train game right now? Oh, is that the refactor? Okay, so we got that. Got all these. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. The refactor from hell. Okay. So we've got that working. We've got the use in there. We'll get that functionality working once we actually have items that have a use. Currently, our healing potion, I don't believe, does anything. Let me just double check. Healing, or we just called it potion, I think. Potion, yeah. Potion currently does nothing. It's just a thing that exists. Okay. So we'll worry about getting that use hooked up once we have items that actually do something. Train game is 520-ish total last I checked. Oof. And that 700-ish in Unreal. Wow. 1,200 hours. It's one of those things like my Castlevania game. I was tracking all of my time in it, and then I lost my home server and lost all the old records. And even since then, I've probably put in since when did I rebuild that? About mid July. I think I've already got like another almost 100 hours into that one, just trying to do a fifth of the game just for the next playtest. That includes all the serious learnings for game dev I have done. It's one of the things that's awesome about game dev, or I'm going to say awesome, is just how much stuff you can learn every single time you hit a hurdle. You're like, oh, I need to know how to do this. And then you dive down a rabbit hole and go, oh my God, there's so much here to learn. Okay, so we got that. Let's do, I think that is good for right now. For this party member box, we got their image loading. We've got this updating as they move. The HP we already got working last time, so we know that works. Let's see, what else do we got here? I guess it's time to get let's get the combat log done. This is going to be a pain in the butt because this right now, this action panel is part of the game board. It's not part of this UI. And moving the controls over to here from here is going to be a little bit of a pain. So currently learning how to do terrain programmatically. Yeah, that's the only time I've ever done anything like that is when I was learning Unreal 4, we did a heat map, whatever you want to call that, and then built the terrain from the different differences in the shades of gray in the 2D color image. I can't remember the name for that term right now, but that's the closest I've ever come to generating terrain like that. I see the pain incoming. Yeah. That was one of the things that with this, like my previous iteration of this game, I was trying to make, because level design is hard. Programming and making things technically work, I find I'm I'm going to use the term easy. It's in my wheelhouse. I understand sometimes it just takes time to get done, but it's all something that can get done. The design aspect is hands down the hardest thing. Making a level, trying to figure out where things go, and when I tried to do some stuff originally, I was like, oh, I'll just use waveform collapse and all that stuff, and I'll make a randomly generated dungeon, so I don't have to worry about game design. And I got it all implemented. It all worked. Made the dungeon. It just was not fun. It was just like, oh, this is just not. This is not fun. I don't know how else to describe it. It was a technical achievement. It worked, but I just couldn't make it work. So it was enjoyable, and so I kind of abandoned that one. So I went back to this pseudo random one, and I don't. I have a game out there called Graph Paper Gauntlet, where it's using what's his name in there, Kenny. I always want to say it's Kenny, but I think it's like Kinney. Their assets for their graph paper like dungeon, so it looks like it's hand drawn on graph paper, and I just took those and just rotated them and put them in. It was a lot of fun. Had a lot of blast doing that for a game jam, and that's kind of where the idea for this came from, was taking those board games and those tiles and building it into that. Okay, so let's go back down here. We're gonna focus on this. That's the actual game board one. We're working on this HUD. We're gonna work down here, bottom row. This is gonna be our combat log. I'm just gonna call it combat logger. Okay, so we got our bottom row. We can collapse this. Okay, combat logger. So we've already got like this type of stuff down here coming out into our output. So we have like, does it say the results? I don't remember. I don't think I let the game go far enough, but so I already have some results. Now we just need to pump them into this, and we need to make like a scroll container here, and then make it so we can actually read it. Okay, so let's add our margin container. And then in here, we need to add a scrollable container. I'm trying to remember the order here. Do we do the scrollable container first, or do we add the other item and then... I'm trying to remember now. With a single control node with a VBox, HBox. Okay. Does this need to be a child, though? Use a container as a child. Okay, perfect. So let's add the VBox. Okay. And then this will be where our actual text is going to be. And so in here, let's add a child node. Let's add a rich text format label. And this is going to be a combat row. Okay. And then let's add this as a... I'm trying to think here. I mean, I could just do a standard rich text, but I think I'm going to make this into its own scene. Combat row. Oh, you know what? Let's call it combat log row. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to rename this just so I remember. Okay. Combat log row. Okay. And then in here, we want to enable BB code. There we go. So then we can say like, priest hit orc for, orc for, and red 5 damage. Is it red? I'm trying to remember now how this actually... Oops. You gotta get out of that box so I can... And then this, we want to... There we go. Isn't it red? What's the... What is the BB code again to change the color? I'm drawing a blank. Let's go look it up. BB color. BB code. Out style equals red. Okay. That's what we want. And then we end style. Okay. So style equals red / style. Did I not do that right? Oh, color equals red / color. There we go. Okay. Why is this not showing it in red though? Yeah, why is that not showing? Why is that not showing it in red? Does it need to be like that? No. Do I need to do something else? I don't think so. Why is that not a... Am I missing something here with Godot? Bold, italics, color. Oh, don't put quotes. Okay. Okay, there we go. Google's to the rescue. That was probably actually AI, right? Yeah, that was Gemini. Just can't avoid it, even if you don't want to use it. All these sites are forcing it down on you. Okay, so we do that. Come back over here to our HUD. This, and we need to make this begin this fine. We want to make sure it fits the entire thing. There we go. So then if we do a whole bunch of these, okay, so we need the scroll container. 2. That one's also set to fill. Okay. Okay, so what happened here? Why did this crunch everything in? Oh, you know what? We need to do the allow cutoff. Where is it here? There's one of these where we can actually, clip contents. There we go. Okay, so it's not that level. So this one, clip contents is on. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let's just clear that out. Let's make it wide. And then let's make each of these rows. Let's make this. Where's our layout? Here we go. 8. 8 sounds like a good number. What's that look like? Oops. Yeah, that's the text is wrong. Okay, so let's go back into our combat row and let's change our text size. Font sizes. Actually, you know what? Let's change our font too. Quick load. What do we? Oh, we don't have any fonts loaded in this game. Okay, so let's just change the normal. Let's just change all these font sizes. Change them all down to 8. Okay. 8, 8, 8. Why is this doing? Okay. So we need to add a little bit more onto this. Make it a little bit taller. Let's make it 12. Is that going to be too much? Let's go see. 12. That's a little too much. Let's make it 10. That looks a little bit better. Oh, you know what? We could also do VBox. Let's change out our spacing. There we go. Save. Okay. Why does... Turn that off. Why does it have these extra little like scroll containers here? Why do the combat rows have it? Oh, scroll act. We don't want scroll active. Where was that? Clip contents. Don't want to clip the contents. Okay. Save that. Go back over here. This. Oops. Down here. Oops. HUD. HUD. Here we go. There. Why am I not seeing that scroll active? Oh, it's up here. There we go. Save. There. So now when we run the game, we should just have the single container. Yep. There we go. Okay. So if we're scrolling with our mouse wheel here, it's also scrolling the board. We're gonna probably have to do a little like troubleshoot quality of life. So if it's in this box, we're gonna have to capture it and not send it to the game board. Okay, so that's a bug definitely we were gonna need to fix. Okay, so now we've got this. Let's get this working here. So we'll go ahead and just delete all these out. Okay, and so our combat log. I think we'll create that probably as an array, and then we will just keep track of it as needed. So let's go here. Let's do a var log. How do we want to do this? Do we really need it to be an array? I don't think we need to track it because all we're going to do as we go through, we're going to add a combat element happened. We're going to signal it to the UI. The UI is going to create a combat log row. enter it in there. Once we leave the dungeon, it's all gone. We don't care about the combat log anymore. And as long as all those items exist, we're still going to um, be able to keep track of it. I'm just wondering, should we put a limit on it? Let's leave it without a limit for now. But what we'll do is we'll put right here, this will be combat loggers here. Let's call this combat log box. There we go. So let's bring that into here. Okay. So on ready, when this is all set up, let's do combat log box, oops, for C and combat log box like get children. C.QFree. Okay. And then we can do a function add combat log. Okay. And then we'll need, whatever the log's going to be. I don't know exactly yet, but we'll figure that out in 1 second. And then with that, we can do a new, what we call this combat log row. Combat log row. Put that up here. Here's our constant. Then we can do view new row equals this, instantiate. Okay. And then what we can do is new row dot text equals log. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then we can just do what we call this again, combat log box dot append, not append, add child, and then we can do new row. Okay. The other thing I want to make sure I do is this is the scroll container. We want to make sure that we follow the focus because that should make it so as we add new items, it scrolls it up and keeps it up to date as we add new stuff. Okay, so now we have the combat log box here. We need a way to pick up the signal. So we need to come into our combat manager here, and do we have we don't have a whole lot of signals here. Signal log update, and then we'll just pass it as a string. Oh wait, string, there we go. Okay, so now what we need to do, copy, is when something happens, we need to pass the update. Do I remember correctly you were a teacher? Yes. Yep. I teach Cisco networking was my primary stuff that I was teaching, A plus networking plus all that stuff. And just recently I've started doing game programming for my local college. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so where are we here? Here's our attack. Let's just do a basic attack. Go through all the dice, weigh all the pool. I was a student of that like 15 years ago. Yeah, this is my 15th. I just finished my 15th year of teaching. So my first class was September of 2011, and this year will be starting my 16th year teaching. That doesn't come from teaching. That just comes from how I think. Even if I'm in my office at work, I have a whiteboard and I'm walking through, drawing everything out, talking to myself, and just I don't know why. I'm just kind of like one of those people that I talk out loud, and that's just how I think. So it just kind of comes naturally. Plus, when you get frustrated, if you yell profanities, it feels a lot better. Let's see here. Okay, so this is the attack. So if damage is less than 0, we return false. Okay. Otherwise, here's all this. Excuse me. Okay, so here we do the damage, and then here we check. We say this person has died. Okay, so how do we want to log this update? So we've got target name has died. So let's just do this here. We can just do a log update dot emit, and then we can say target name, boom, 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 has died. And then here we can do color equals red, color. Okay, so now if something dies, we should get the log update here. Okay, and so now we just need to connect the UI into the combat manager. I don't believe we did the combat manager as a global. No, we just did a game manager. Okay, so when we come back here to the HUD, we have turn manager, game board. Let's add in our combat manager. So let's see here, combat manager, and that's of type combat manager. Okay, so then here, so we free all this, and then let's do this log update dot connect, and then that's going to be add combat log. Okay. Oh, you have log in this, just not just to print out the system. That's going to be the goal. I want to have that. So let's see right now if things die. You know what? I've got to fix this because right now I have it set so our rogue doesn't start with a weapon. So now he does. Okay. Log update on time. Oh, hit. Dummy me. Okay, so let's go back here. Here's our HUD. We forgot to actually, where is it here? Here we go. Assign the combat manager. There we go. Okay, let's try this one more time. By the dagger. Oops. Why did that not work? I connected that in. Combat manager. Log update. Valid access to log update on base type null. I swear I just connected that. Didn't I not? F8. Okay, game board. Here's our HUD. Oh, I I did it in the remote, not in the local tree. That was my bad. Okay. That should fix that. Okay, let's buy the dagger for our rogue. Let's give the rogue the dagger so he has a weapon. Let's explore. Okay, so now this should populate when we kill something. This is not working properly because I don't have the valid target hitched up. So let's see if we can kill everything. Okay, so those died, but we did not get our signals to update the combat manager here. Or not combat manager, the logger. Let's just make sure that something didn't go wrong. Bottom row, combat logger. Scroll container. It did not. What are these? What are these texture Rex? What did I mess up? Texture Rex. Okay, let's go back here and take a look here. What did I do in the HUD? Scroll container combat log box. So we're clearing this out. We're adding in. Did I add the wrong thing in? What's this? Combat row log scene. Yep. That's this right here. Okay. What did that not? Let's just double check. Let's make sure here in our HUD that we are getting this. Combat log. This is a string. Oops. That didn't go. Okay. new row.text equals log. Let's just print the log just so we, let's do print error just so it stands out. Let's just make sure this is working. Okay, so let's see, fireball, that should kill everybody. Oh yeah, that'll kill all of them. Okay, so let's see here, what do we got? Boom. Okay, orc blade has died. Oh, right. I know what the problem is. Okay, let's try this one more time. What I did was in the combat manager, I only hooked up the logging to the melee attacks. I did not hook up the logging to the actual ability attacks. That's the problem we have here. So as soon as we get up to this rogue here, when if I attack and kill him, then that should trigger that. Okay, so if we go here, we attack. Oh, we missed. Let's try it again. And we missed again. Gotta run. See you another day. Thanks, Stephanie, for stopping by. It's great to have you stop by the stream and look forward to seeing what you do with your game. Okay, so let's try to attack. Oops, I need to move him. Move. Let's move him over to, move him to right there. Attack. Okay, there we go. This should kill him, and boom, character. Okay, that brings me to another thing that I have to do because this is the name of the node that's getting reported. We want to actually add a name to the characters so then we can actually report orc instead of character body 2D at 8. Okay, but that's working. Who else are we on now? We're on the priest. Let's just see. We'll try to kill someone else. There we go. Boom. And see, like that one, because he was the first one, that shows up. Orc blade. Okay, perfect. So let's fix that real quick. So if we go into, I think it's actor, here we go. Let's give them avatar image. Not that. I want to do, let's put it right here at the beginning. Export var actor name string. Oops, equals, boom. Okay. So we can do this and we can use actor name instead. So then if we look up our orc, like orc here, come over here, actor name, we just call it orc. If we come into our orc blade, we call it orc blade. Like this will be an orc raider. Is it raider or rider? Raider. Okay, perfect. And over here is our orc scout. Okay, so we got that. And then we need to do the same thing for our barbarian. Barbarian. I think what I'm going to want to do, and this is not going to be for the playtest, but in the future, I kind of want people to be able to name them. I know originally in our GDD, we said we weren't going to do that, but we're not. I think letting the people name them, or at least coming up with a random name, you know, kind of like, again, this is all based, the original concept was based on cannon fodder, and it's just a whole bunch of just random names show up, and that's the name of the person that you're playing as. So, wizard. I'm going to call him wizard here. We got wizard, rogue. We need the priest. And we need the rogue. Okay, rogue. Rogue. Okay, so we got that. That's all set. So we can go ahead and close out all these. We don't need these open anymore. Okay. And then so in our combat manager here, where we did this target.name, we're going to do target.actor name. So then that should report the actual name that we just entered into all of that. Okay, so that's here. Do we have another one? Attack AoE. Do we have has died animation idle right here? So we can put that in here. Okay. Okay. So now it should work on AoE attacks and it should work on um, melee attacks. Okay. Okay, rogue is up. Let's use our shuriken. This is an AoE attack. Oh, that's not going to hit anybody. Okay, let's try this one more time. Shurikens! Come on, shurikens! Oh, we kill at least one, I think. Oh, we got all four. Sweet. Oh, we got 3 of 4. Orc blade, orc blade. Yeah, see, but now using that name instead of the node name, we actually have something here that's decent and readable. Okay, so let's just move him down to here and we'll kill this guy and we'll explore. We just want to try to get enough in the combat log that we can actually see that the scrolling and everything works. So let's just move him up to here. And look, our AP is counting down the perfect way. So that's all good. That's all working. Did I make this so that we're not going to be able to summon any other orcs here? There's got to be more. Okay, let's turn on his mobility and make him run as fast as he can. Wow. Yeah, I am just not getting any come on, move. There we go. Come on, Kevin. Well, I found the exit at least. Okay. I'm only gonna give it a couple more tries and then okay, after this wizard. If he doesn't spawn more. Okay. We may have you know what? Let's look at the game board. Let's see if we did remove that. I don't think I did. Entrance, no, entrance 2 is still there. It's got a weight of 10. Entrance 2, it's got 4 bad guys. It has a weight of 10. Okay. But speaking of which, let's go back to our we have this. Now we want to add the damage also in. So let's go back into our scripts. Okay, so we have combat manager. So we've got this log update. You know what? Right here, why don't we add this in too? Gold manager.gold. We want this game manager gold plus equals that random. Let's do a var drop, and that's going to be an integer equals this. Put that here plus drop, and then we're going to say this. We're going to do drop plus. Let me think of how I want to do this here. Oops, this needs to be a string. So a string, so we say gold. Let's do here, we'll do a bracket color equals, is gold a color? I don't know. Let's find out. This plus that. And then here we can just do slash color. And we can say, oops, gold found. Okay, so now each time we delete or find gold here, this is going to do that. Let's also put this, oops, you know what? This is under AoE. Let's go look at the melee. Yeah, we're duplicating some stuff here, so we should probably change that. go. Okay, so now we should add the gold. I want to also add in the damage updates up here. Var damage equals, if damage is less than 0, return false. Otherwise, target is this. Let's do a log update target dot actor name. So we do want to do takes, took, red, and then this will be quote plus quote. Oops. This will be the string value of damage plus color damage. Okay. So here, this happens in, this is attack. Let's do the same here for AoE. If damage. Oh, do we not have that down here? If they're above this, else if they're below, where do we assign the damage? Here we go, damage. Go through each one. Target minus equals damage, so we'll just put this here. Attacker. Okay. So let's see what this does for our log. Explore. Okay. So shurikens, boom. We don't have a miss ability in there yet. Okay, so Orc took 1 damage, Orc Blade took 1 damage, Orc Scout took a damage, Orc Scout took a damage. 21 gold found, Orc has died. 11 gold found, Orc has died. This did not follow to the bottom. Okay, so let's go back and figure out why that did not work. Scroll container, because we have this as follow focus. Oh, here we go. Vertical scroll. Always show, never show, reverse. I don't remember here. Let's look. Yep. Reverse. Combine scroll mode auto with scroll mode show. Always scroll bar is only visible if necessary, but the content size is adjusted. That does. This is just the scroll. Oh, this is just the scroll bar. I want to follow focus. Here we go. Automatically scroll to the focus children, including indirect children, to make sure they are fully visible. Well, if we do this, then we can just do, when this gets added, we can just call focus on it. So let's just do that. So we add child, and then we can just do combat log box, or no, new row dot grab focus. FOCUS. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, so we're going to start off with, here we go, Divine Fire. Okay. Took a damage, took 0 damage, 1 damage. Boom. Still didn't scroll to the bottom. Okay. We don't need that anymore. We can take that out for debugging. Okay, so that didn't work. This is great. I'm new to game dev and have been working on one for about 4 months now, and I'm heavily involved in the crawler aspect of it. It's really cool to see someone's approach live. Well, thanks. I'm going to assume it's Zeal. I am. Screen names are hard to start with, and I'm even worse at actual names. So I'm glad that this is enjoyable and useful to you. Okay, so let's go and look at how do we get the scroll box container. Godot focus scroll box to bottom. Okay, how do we get down to the bottom? Scroll vertical. Max value. Okay, we'll just do this. was gonna say I thought I did something like this before, so that's gonna make it easy. Okay, so instead of this, we do this, but we do we have to await get tree. Oops. We'll do a physics frame. That's fine. This scroll container. Do we actually have? We just call it scroll container. So let's get. We'll just do this. This will make this easier. We'll just replace that with this. Okay, that should work. Okay, so let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we don't have misses in there right now because the enemies missed us. Boom. Okay, and now it's scrolled to the bottom. Okay, cool. I knew there was something like that, and I remember having to look it up before, but okay, so that scrolls to the bottom. So we've got that. So we got the combat logger. Let's go look at our design doc here. Where are we? Here we go. Combat log, done. We need to move the... Do we need to move that? Right now, the action panel, I've got this one over here. Let's go to the middle row here. So we've got this action panel that we have not set up yet. Does this work? It does work without it. You know, we should also change, because we changed the resolution, let's change our default zoom level that we have with the camera. Game board, camera, our default zoom. Let's put it at 3.0. Let's try that. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, I think our script zooms it out. Oh yeah, because our max zoom. Okay, so let's set that back here. Save. Target zoom 3. Let's say our minimum now is going to be 1.0. Let's set our maximum to 6. Let's see what happens here. There we go. So that zooms in this level. We can go that low, or we can go that high. Okay. I think that works a little bit better. Okay. Let's do one other thing. What did I use for... We got the... We already did the rogue, I think, right? We already have his avatar picture. Rogue. Yes, we already have an avatar image for him. Priest, we do not have yet. Let's do that real quick. Cleric. Where is his just regular animation? Here we go. Oh, you know what? We can just do this. Copy this texture. Over here, we'll... Nope, that's inventory. Avatar image. Paste. Why? Okay, it won't let me just... Oh, because that's a sprite versus a texture rect. Dummy me. Okay. Cleric attack idle. Here we go. Let's put the idle image in there. And then this is... Well, this won't allow me to do the animation. Okay, so let's set this up then as a atlas image. And then let's bring this in here, edit the region. And then let's just take this guy right here. Actually, you know what? Let's bring it right in on top of him. Try to fill it right up. Let's zoom right in just to make sure we get all the pixels. Black, black, black. Okay, perfect. There we go. Save. Okay, so that's going to be our priest. And then let's do the wizard. Okay, and then... Oh, yeah, I want to replace... I'll go through and replace those in a second. Wizard, wizard, wizard. Here we go. Avatar image. Wizard idle. There we go. Atlas. idle edit. Should probably have a buffer around it because I don't think that I think this might be a little bit too big, but let's quickly see. Yeah, see now these are a little bit distorted. So let's go back in here. Let's edit this region. You know, we could just manually do it this way. This is fine. So we want to make it a 16 by 16 image. And if I do this as an offset of 0, 0, nope, 8, 8, there we go. Okay, that works. For that one, let's bring up the priest. Let's try to do the same thing to his image. Make it 16 by 16, 8 by 8. Well, let's make the Y a little bit more. 12, nope, less. 4, 6, nope, 5. 5 looks good. Let's move the X over just a little bit. Yeah, that works. Okay. Now when we look at, yeah, now we got a little bit more. That's funny because these ones are facing left. These guys are facing right. Oh, did I do, I know what I did. Because I remember I wanted the initiative order because they're coming from, well, sorry, camera backwards. They're coming from the left side, or the right side of the screen to the left for the initiative order. I wanted them to face the other way. So let's offset this Y plus, so it'll be 21. No? Okay, 21 plus 16 is 37. Nope. Okay, let's see. No, that is right. Okay, 37. We just have to change the X a little bit. 8, 9. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. Okay, and then the wizard, we're going to offset this. 24. Nope, not 24. 40. There we go. Save. Okay, so now they're all going to be lined up, facing the same way. Everybody's facing left. Everybody's facing left. Okay. Okay, so we got that. Let's see. What else do we need to do here? We need to do, close this out. We got the combat logger working. We do, let's investigate what we're going to need to do to move this. Okay, so we have, let's look at our game board right now because this UI exists on our game board. So this is our dice roller and our action panel. So this action panel right here is what we want to move. And then this has its own script. What is in our action button script? Oh, right, because we're populating. Yeah, that's fine. That's the actual button that says, you know, what this actually does. So it's kind of like all the cast buttons, all the ability buttons. That's fine. I don't need to worry about that. What I need to know is how do these buttons tie into the game board? So we look up here in the game board. We have the move button here is under our UI move button. So what do we do when we connect in the move button? Where's our ready function? ID move button connects to actor move. So I think this might be fairly simple to migrate over. So as long as we leave the functionality in the game board and we export the game board to the HUD. So here on the HUD, we already have the game board. Okay. So then here on the action panel container, let's make, do we have a script over here? Action panel? No, we can just make a new script. Let's just do that. Okay. So we have the game board. And then this is the buttons we do need to connect to the game board. So let's copy those over. Let's head back over here. Action panel container. Let's make this its own script. Just trying to think about how we want to do. Yeah, let's make this its own. We're gonna put this in here. We're going to then, when we call this, let's put this in the UI. Scenes, nope, where is it here? Core components UI. Here we go. Action panel container, create. Okay. So then here, what we need is we need an export var. We need the game board. Game board. That's going to be a game board. Whoops, game board. Okay. We need an export var. We need, whoops, export with an R. We need the actor. Let's call it character. I don't want to call it that. I want to call it character. Okay. And function underscore ready. Okay. Whoops. Okay. And then we need to hook up these because underneath here we have these buttons. So these will always be. Okay. Let's get rid of chest button. I don't think we're going to need that one, but we are going to have this, and this. These are always going to be there. So let's give these as unique names. Let's bring those in here. So attack button press to connect, and that's going to go to gameboard.actor.move. This is going to be gameboard.actor.attack, and this will be gameboard.endturn. Okay. So those buttons should work right now. Let me just double check on the game board on these actor moves and stuff like that to make sure that we're not sending anything. No, actor move, actor attack, we're not sending anything. End turn. Where's our end turn? End turn, we're not. Okay. Okay, so if we do this, we go into Explore. Invalid access property, actor move. Oh, right. Because what we need to do is go back into our game board here. We have our HUD. Oops, we need to go to local here. HUD. And we have game boards already set up here. In HUD, on ready, game board, copy. We need to go action panel container dot game board equals game board, right? Because that's what we called it. Action panel container, we called it game board. Okay, so that's fine there. Okay, so that should work. No. Okay, so we need a little delay before we do anything in here. So let's give it a second. Let's do a get tree dot let's do a physics frame. That should be fine. Await. There we go. Await physics frame. Okay, so then these, let's see, we're on this guy. So if I hit move, yep. Okay, then if I do an end turn, okay, so that works. Okay, so we got those working. We have the callback to the game board. And then in the game board where we're populating the other buttons, we now also need to do that. So let's go back into our game board. And where do we set up our buttons? Excuse me. Update actor, fins and group players, set up action panel. Okay, so let's go find setup action panel. Setup action panel. Here we go. So we can just take all this, copy. We're going to bring that back over to our action panel container. I'm going to use this function. So here we have the player. Okay. Get node, get children. Okay. So here in the action panel, we're in this. Here's our VBox container. And so right here, we don't need action panel because we're already there. So if we get VBox container, get children. And if it's not a move, attack, or an end turn, queue free it. Okay. Add in ability for ability and player.abilities. So here is our character. Button is action button. Okay, so this is where we need the action button. Action button is this. So we'll take that. We'll bring that over to our action panel container. That one's going to be a constant. So let's add that right into the top. Okay. And then this connects start ability targeting. We're going to do gameboard.start ability targeting. And this becomes, again, whoops. Just delete that out. Add children button. Okay. So this, that will work, but we need to send the current character. So when this populates, so we already have a signal and we're signaling the start of a new turn. I think we're doing that in game board. I know we're definitely doing it in turn manager, but in game board, what do we have for signals? We just have tiles selected. Okay. Oh, game manager. What are we doing in game manager? Signals, back to town. Okay, nope. What else do we have? Here we go. HUD. What do we have here in HUD? We are exporting the turn manager. Okay. So in turn manager, we can connect into turn manager dot is it advanced turn? Is it start turn? Turn started? What are we? Let's see what we're connected to here in turn started, update active. Where are we doing the? So I think this is where we're looking for update active, because in update active, if it's a player, set up the action panel. Okay, so we're going to connect into that signal into our HUD here. We're going to do turn manager, turn start, update active. Okay, and then here function update active, and then that sends in, if I remember correctly, update active sends in an actor. Okay, so we do this, and then we can call down to the action panel container dot what do we call action panel container setup action panel, setup action panel, and then we can send in here the actor. Okay. Oh, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that that's a player. So if actor is player. Okay. Because we don't want to do that if it's a monster. We don't want to change the panel. So let's see here. Does this work or is this broken? Okay. So the first time we get to a player, this should update. Okay. Yep. And then updated. We have our correct spells. Do they work? Let's find out. Let's use healing on the priest. Oh, right. We have to change the valid targeting on that. We have not done that yet. Divine Fire. Okay. So, wow, I thought that action panel was going to be a little bit harder to connect. It was not. Okay, let's see here. Um, okay. What I want to do though is I want to fix this so that these actually fit the right size. Because over here we made them smaller to fit this other menu. Originally, my idea was to make this pop up next to the actor, so then when you move around, it stays next to the actor. But I think we're going to keep it over here. I think that's going to make things a lot better. Um, okay, so then we can probably hide this for now. We don't need this menu. So let's go over to our game board. UI action panel. We'll hide that. So then we only have this action panel. And then these button scenes, let's make these fit. Expand horizontally. Did we set a maximum size? I think we might have. Yeah. Let's get rid of the maximum size. Oops. Let's leave the maximum Y, but let's. Yeah. Actually, you know what? No, let's just set these back to let them grow as they need to. Let's see what happens. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to get the I don't think I thought we had the oh right, we have a call in the other stuff to hide and show this panel um when it's player's turn, when it's not a player's turn. So like right now if I did no, I just want to do end turn. So now because it's not the player's turn, it hides that panel. That's why that one's still showing up. So even though we hit it, it's still showing up. Okay. Just trying to think here. What do we want to do? We want to do I think I want that text to be aligned left because then it's going to align with the icons. Okay, so here we go. Text behavior, left over on trim characters. That's fine. Okay, so let's just see. Yeah, see, I think I like that lineup better. And then what we can also do is on this HUD, we go to this panel container, and then we do an override. And we make it empty. There we go. So now it's only going to show the buttons like this. There we go. I like that better. Okay, so now what we can do is we just have to change the signals that make this show and make it connect to this. Okay, so let's go back over here into our script for the game board and let's see where we have references to that. So we have action panel, Control C, Control F. Let's find all these references. 18 references. Look, we have action panel visible true, visible false, action panel visible, visible. You know what might be easier? If we go all the way back up here, let's just do this. Let's change that. Let's make it a signal. Call it action panel show. And that'll just be a bool. And that one's lowercase. There we go. Okay, so what we can do is when we come down here, anytime it says action panel visible equals true, we can replace that with action panel show.emit true. Okay, so anytime it says action panel show or action panel visible, oops, was that supposed to be true or was that false? If current actor is in group players. Okay, yep. So this one, We replace this with false. Okay. That one, we leave that one. We can leave that one alone for right now. This, we set this to false. I know we can probably do a search and replace, but I want to kind of make sure what I'm doing here. Target selected. Okay. This one's going to be a true. This one's a true. That one's fine. We don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about that. Here we go. This one, set that to be a false. This one's a true. This one's a true. This one is a true. This one's a false. This way we can keep using the same logic that we've been using and we don't have to rewrite it all. I think that was the last one. Okay, so now we have this action panel show. And what we need to do is go back into our not game board, our HUD. We have this action panel show. We have game board. Okay, so right here, let's do a game board.action panel show.connect. And then we can do check. We'll call it check panel. There we go. Let's do a check panel. Okay. Oops. And then here, function check. Helps if I spell it right. Check panel. And that's going to be a state, and that's going to be a bool. If state, aka if true, visible equals true, else visible equals false. Okay. So that will just, whenever that is called, action panel dot show. Did I, please tell me I typed it all. Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay, so that will check the panel. If it's true, we'll show it. If not, we'll hide it. We already have the setup action panel being called in this, right? Yep. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. If we did this right, okay, so we have this because it's his turn. If I do move, see, it's supposed to hide that. Didn't hide it. So the turn ended. It did hide it. This looks like we have somewhere else where the action panel is being. So in the move. Oh, you know what? I bet you it's in the targeting machine. Let's look at our targeting machine. Do we have a reference to? And we overlay. Nope. Action panel right here. Look at this game board. Action panel visible equals true. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to replace that with dot emit true. Okay. And this one will be false. Okay. This one, action panel visible, true, false. Okay. Action panel visible. This one is false. Okay. This is another one. This one's false. Most of the stuff in the targeting is going to be false because we're hiding it while we're moving characters around. Let's just double check again. Make sure we got all that. Show, emit, false. Yep. Okay, I think we got them all. Let's try this again. So explore, we only have this. This should be hidden by default, but it's not. There we go. Okay, So now it's the rogue's turn. We hit move. It hides. We move. Now we can attack. Hides while the attack's happening. Boom. End the turn. Okay, now it's the barbarian's turn. Perfect. Okay. Okay. I think so. Let's just make sure it ends. Okay, now it's the bad guy's turn. Yep. Okay. Cool. So we got that. Um, so we move the action panel over. We've got the pouches set up so that anything that's loaded in there, they should work. We do have that bug. Let's see if we can fix that bug here. Let's see. How are we gonna look at that bug? Oh, you know what? Let's look at it in real time. Let's take a look at our remote here. Let's look at our game manager. Let's look at our barbarian and his pouch container. Where's his pouch? Buff, combat, equipped, item data. Here we go, pouch. Okay, let's buy a bunch of potions here. Boom, that should be fine. Equip. Okay, so if I go here and I equip this, yeah, see, it's loading into. I'm pointing at my screen. You can't see it. It's loading this into the barbarian because the barbarian is second in the game manager actor right here, right? Because this is the barbarian. Yeah, barbarian. Even though here we have rogue, priest, barbarian. Okay, so let's go back and look at our equip screen because that is obviously wrong. Close this out for a second here. Let's go. Whoops, that's the wrong place to search for this. Equip screen, equip menu. Okay, so let's take a look at our equip menu here. So we got the party, tab container. We have, because it works for the weapons, but it doesn't work for the pouches. Okay, so this one is, okay. So now we got these three buttons. Oh, you know what? It might be because we're missing these. So here's our weapon, our accessory, and then here's our consumables. So if we take these, we copy these over. We have the rogue, we have the priest. Let's paste these in. Let's do the same thing here for the barbarian. Paste. And the wizard. Paste as child. I'm just curious. Let's just see here. Now that I actually have it so I can equip. Now that I can equip all four, I can put a couple potions here. Barbarian. So again, okay, so let's see here. We got priest. Okay, so these ones are clearly, whoops, just loading the wrong thing. So we got rogue, we got the barbarian, we got the priest, we got the wizard. Am I just mislabeling it? That might be all it is, because it's definitely giving barbarian stuff. So like here, this is a barbarian, this is the priest, right? So if we explore, I mean, it's definitely doing that right. I think I just have the tabs mislabeled. So let's go back here and look at the tab container. So here, like I have it labeled. Oh, you know what? Because I have these as named as rogue. What I need to do is I need to change this to use the actor name that we just created. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do here on ready. Right here, we have name, string manager, party members, party member number, dot actor name. That, I think, alone should probably fix this. Let's look. Boom. Why is it called Barbarian 2? Did we call him Barbarian 2? Did I mess that up somewhere? Name. Actor name. It's Barbarian. Why do you get called Barbarian too? Because there was a second Barbarian added to the array. Okay, so how do I want to do this? I want to do, because with a tab container, it reads the control name to put at the top. Oh, because what's happening is I already have these labeled. So let's just call it PC1, PC2, PC3, and PC4. Okay. That should fix this. Okay. If my thinking is correct, that should fix that because now we don't have a tab already labeled Barbarian. Equip. Yeah, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So now if I go into shop and we buy 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So then if we come in here, we give our rogue 1, we give the barbarian 2, priest 3, and the wizard 4. Okay. If we start, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So adding that actor name is really helpful. It's just because I already had those things renamed. I love bugs that are real quick fixes. So that's awesome. Okay. So we got that. We've got this. This is our quit button. We should have a menu button here too to also quit. Let's see here. We got the combat logger. This I don't know what to do with right now. Let's just kind of hide this for right now because I don't really have anything for it. So we'll just hide that. We got that. We got this. What do we need? What else are we going to need to get this rolling here? We got the UI. Let's go back. Let's look at our notes. Let's look at our design stuff. Add actions. I'm going to call this R actions. They're not really non-equipable either, though. Equipable items are actions like a healing potion or speed. Okay, so I'm just going to check this off because we already have that. We just have to work that into the item stuff. Okay, we need to do this. If characters die, we need to replace them. And then we also need a very basic title screen. You know, if we're going to put this out, we need that. So let's get this working first. So then if the player dies, you know, if we lose a rogue, we need to put a new rogue into the party. So let's get that working here. So when we come back to town, this is all going to be done in our game manager. So we have our 4 classes here. We come back to town. This is likely going to change in future versions of the game, but again, we have a limited scope. We're trying to get a game completed in 100 hours. So we're keeping our scope very limited to just these 4 base classes. So everybody comes back to town, party head to town. We look at the party members, we transfer the party to the manager. Okay. And we change to the town scene. Okay. So we transfer the party to the manager, we change to the town scene, and then it's unpaused. Okay. So here we need to see if we're missing a member. Okay. So for member and party, if member is okay. So let's do all this to manager as we're sending these party members. And then let's do if party members dot count is less than 4, we need to figure out who's missing. So let's just do a print here. We'll do members missing. Okay. If party members dot count is less than 4, print members missing. What did I do wrong? Too few arguments for count. Oh, not count, size. Size. Count checks to see how many of a thing exist within an array. Okay. Can we use that then? So we can do a print rogues. And then we do here, we do a plus string. And then we can do a party members dot count. And then we can do rogue. Rogue. Okay. So rogues, BAR, barbarian, a priest, and a wizard. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it will, but it might. And if this works, that makes our life a lot easier. Okay. So for testing purposes, let's load up our classes. Wizard, rogue. We got wizard, rogue, barbarian. We need the priest. Okay, priest. Okay. The other thing, so first thing I want to do is I'm going to give their stats. Where's our stats? Stats. We're going to give them 1 hit point just so that they die easy. Oh, I don't like this. Should not have done it that way. What was our priest original hit points? I don't remember. I think we give him 6. Let's go back. Do we have the wizard stats, priest stats? Here we go. We gave him 5. Okay. Okay, so I do have the stuff listed. Okay, so let's just give him 1. I'll give him 1. I do have all those stats listed. We have not tuned them yet, so they're definitely not accurate. And barbarian. You know what? Let's leave the barbarian alone, just so then we can always make sure we have at least one party member that's still alive. Okay, so that will do that. We also want to change our game board. Game board. And right now we're using entrance tile 2 because we want enemies to start with. Let's use entrance. Is it entrance? Which one? What did we call it? Hold on. It was dungeon entrance. Okay. Script. Dungeon entrance. Oh, that reminds me. I need some logging in the trap. What did we call the trap? Did we use spike trap? Did that call just the combat manager? I think it did. Damage. Okay, so we need that. Borrow that thing from the combat manager. Combat manager. Here we go. When target takes damage, where did we put it here? Log update. Omit. Okay. Where did I just put the spike trap? Spike trap. There we go. And do we have combat manager in here? We don't. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna leave this alone for right now. What I need to do is I need to take the trap damage stuff. I need to pump it into the combat manager so then everything gets handled the same way. But this will work for right now. Okay. So what we have is we have our game board. We're going to explore. We'll have our traps and our exit tile. So if I take my priest, he goes here, he dies. Why did he not die? He should have died. What I did? Oh, because I don't have it pumped into the combat manager. Because there's nothing in here that says, hey, This person has died. Okay. Um, but either way, we still didn't get our count. Head to town. Here's our. Oh, because we have a full thing, so of course it didn't work. Okay. Body current HP minus equals damage. Wait, didn't we update our actor to damage current HP on 0 HP? Die. Die to emit self. Okay. Okay. So we have it set up. We just don't have it connected to do anything. Actor. Item itself. So let's go. What do we have in our player? Player script. Do we have? We don't. So let's put in a die process here. Okay. Um, died.connect. Oh, actually, wait. Is that already connected in actor? Died. Ready. Where's ready? Ready. Died.connect is not currently connected. Okay. I thought. What did we just see then? Oh, here we go. On this, we call died emit. Okay, so this is just triggering the signal. Okay, so let's go back to our player. Player. We'll do died.connect. And that was, what was it? Was it transmitting the actual emit self? Yeah, it was actually transmitting itself. Okay. So here, died.connect. We're going to do died, not died, died. Kill player. There we go. Copy. Function, kill player. That's going to include the player. And then we're going to do a call deferred. And then that's going to how do we do it in the combat manager? I want to make sure I'm kind of doing it roughly the same way. Has died. Didn't we connect in? We have actor removed. Thought we had a. We'll just do a queue free for now. Oh, right, because we want to do it this way. There we go. Okay, so now if the player dies, call deferred, queue free. This may break something because I'm not actually technically removing it from the turn manager, but let's find out. He died, but he's still in the turn manager, so but he's missing. Okay, yeah, so we need to free him. Oh, did we do it in the game board? We may have done it in the game board. Actor complete. Actor move. Actor attack. Actor remove. Here we go. So if we do that, we come back over here to where was it? Player. Do I have a reference to game board? I don't have a reference to game board. Oh, you know what? Instead of doing this, let's do this. Let's go to the game board because we do have a reference in game board to the characters. Game board, because we're setting up the characters. Where are we? Tile sec. Here's our player list. And then when we do the ready, we go through, we set up player list. Here we go. Character, add character right here, actors.add child. So what we can do, character setup. And I think this is where we're doing this setup. Oh no, this is set up on the character itself. Action complete, connect. Let's do it right here. Character dot died dot connect. And then here we have a remove. What did we call it again? It was a remove actor. What do we call it? Remove actor remove. That's what we're looking for. There. Because we're going to be sending that signal, so we want to make sure that we're doing this here. Connect, actor remove. There we go. Okay. So now, if the character dies, then we should be able to remove them. Let's just end turn on the barbarian. Okay, step on the trap. Dead. Why didn't it remove them from the queue properly? Oh, it did. It just didn't end its turn. Okay, either way, this will let us test. So now we have only 3 characters left. Let's move them onto here. Go to town. It should tell us we have no wizard. Members missing. We don't have any wizards. What's this thing? What's this? Where are we looking? Yeah. Where's it pulling that from? 5 out of 7. Okay. So let's go back into our game manager. How's it going today? Well, it's going. We got the UI all hooked up. We got the combat login worked. We got the inventory working. Right now, I'm just trying to make it so when if you lose characters and go back to town, we repopulate to make sure you have a full party. And this is not working. Count value. It's because these aren't actual values. They're characters within the thing. Okay, so we just have to do our check better. What we can do is we can just do all of this and just do for member in party members. If member is rogue, if member is rogue, continue. Oh, this could work. Let's do this. If member is rogue, continue. If member is wizard, continue. If member is barbarian, wow, I cannot type today. And then last but not least, if member is priest. Okay, so let's think through this here. So we're going to cycle through each member. Say the first one's a rogue. So if the member is a rogue, we just go on to the next member. We can do else if they're a wizard, continue on. Else if they're a barbarian, then continue. Else if they're a priest, continue. That's not going to help us. Here we just need our counter. I hate doing it this way. I'm gonna do it this way, but I hate doing it this way. Rogue ROGUE count equals 0. I don't like doing it this way, but whatever. BAR. This is going to be our priest and wizard. Wizard count. Okay. So we do plus equals 1. Wizard count plus equals 1. Barbarian. And priest count. And then we can just go down through. If rogue count equals 1, add member, add child. Right here, we're going to do member, get parent, add child member. Where's our initial party setup? Here we go. Initial party. New member, base class member, instantiate. There we go. Oops, this should be 0. If there is no child, no rogue, new member is base classes rogue. Oops, didn't mean to do it that way. Base class is rogue, instantiate, add the child. Okay. And then we don't need to like do a loop. We can just do this, and then we can do barbarian. Count equals 0. And we just change this to barbarian. Okay. Okay, we did barbarian, priest, and then this one will be wizard. Priest, and then this one will be wizard. Okay. Whoops, that's supposed to be lowercase. That's supposed to be lowercase. Okay, so that. Oh my god, I hate that code so much. So much. Oh. Okay, let's just see how it works. Move, boom, die. Wizard is gone. Let's also kill off, we'll just end turn for the barbarian. Let's kill off the priest. Okay. And so we're missing a priest and a wizard. Let's go back to town. Yes. Okay. Members missing. We have a rogue and a barbarian. Now we've added these. Let's go to our equip screen. We have a priest and a wizard. We go back to explore. We have everybody. The barbarian is currently running. I thought we fixed that. I thought we did the... Oh, no, right here. We did not set the... we set the global position, but we did not set their animation. So let's do member.animationplayer.play. Idle. There we go. That should fix that. Okay, so let's try this one more time. We'll kill off the rogue. We got still fix the dies on their own turn type thing. And turn. Yeah. Okay. Oh, where are we at? We're at 12:15. Okay, so we're right about the end of the stream for today, but I think we made some really good progress here. Let's see here. Did I miss a turn for the wizard? Oh, you know what it was? It's because we did the end turn. It skipped over because the current actor was missing. That's what happened. Okay, well, let's head to town. Boom. Yes, leave. Okay, so we re-added our our rogue and our priest, barbarian, wizard, rogue. We gotta set up our wizard or our rogue so he gets his daggers by default. We go back in. There we go. Everybody's there. Come back up. Yes, we rest. So we get back to our full hit points. Explore. Okay, cool. So we fixed that. Let's go back over here. Let's look at our list. Combat. We already did that. Down here. Here we go. Back to town. Replace characters with new ones. Character is dead at the end of the run. All equipment on them is lost. That is true. So if I go, let's go and just verify that. So if we go in here, let's go with shop. Let's buy a bunch of potions. 8. Yeah, it should be fine. And then if we equip, put 2 on the rogue, 2 on the barbarian, 2 on each of these guys. Boom. Exit. We explore. The wizard has a couple. Oh, he survived. He survived. Come on. Come on, trap. There we go. Okay. Leave. Okay. So now if we go back into our equip screen, yep, everything that was on the rogue is gone. Okay. So now if we go back into explore, rogue has nothing. Okay, perfect. That's what we're intended for. Okay. So let's go back over here, look at our list. So that's all done. All we need now is a title screen, and also we probably need a way in town to exit out, because right now our town screen, I don't think we have a exit game function. We do not. Okay. So all we need to do is just add one of these buttons over here. Buttons. Add a child. A button. Quit. Button. Quit. Save. Let's go ahead and connect that up. Copy. Quit button dot pressed dot connect. Get tree dot quit game. There we go. Quit. Okay. So we got that. So the only thing we're missing is the title screen. Okay. I am going to save this work. I'm going to hit stop on our timer. Okay. We're going to come back over here. Reset player status when entering town. We completed that, so we can put that in our done column. We built the UI, so we can put that in our done column. We still have to build out the tile library. So I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. Whoops, sorry about that. I didn't mean to hit my mic like that. I'm going to put that out for tomorrow. But let's look at what else we're missing. Because I wanted, originally today was going to be the day I wanted to release this as a playtest. Obviously, it's not quite ready for that yet. So let's go back here and look. So right now for our game, what are we missing here in the game? Well, we don't have any introduction. We just start right here in this town screen. I don't want that to happen. I want to change the flow. So what I would like it to do is the very first time you run the game, I don't think, Well, we'll have gold set to nothing, so there'll be no gold. So then maybe what we do is we take this explore button, we make it huge and just put it down here. Oh, we also don't have this set up yet, but that's fine. So, let's do that right now. Let's just make it so it's a little bit more user friendly. So if we go to town, we get the explore button. Let's put this at the bottom. Oops, no. Okay. And then this, let's put this all the way at the bottom. Buttons. This needs to fully expand. Where's our V-Box? Nope. Where's our... This. I need this to be tall. There we go. Okay. So then this explore button, let's make it a little bit more enticing. So let's do our... Oh, where is the overrides? Offset transform. Here we go. So let's scale it up a little bit. Let's go 1.5. Nope, not that far. -15, -10. Just want to try to keep it contained. The question is, with this override, does it give me the entire button or does it give me... Yeah, see this, it doesn't exist until I get into where the actual button is. Okay, so let's not do that. But let's definitely give it a little bit more enticing thing. So colors, let's give it style. Here we go. Style box flat. Yeah, flat. Let's give it a, green's a good color, but let's give it a little bit darker of a green. Let's give it some... I don't really care about the border. Let's give it some corner radius. Let's give it 8. Maybe not that much. Let's do 5. Yeah, that works. Okay. So we got this explore. It's probably going to be a little funky right now when we hover it. Yep. Okay. So we need to give it some content margins. Maybe not so much on the top. Oops. I want to do it on the sides. There we go. So let's see. Why does that look spelled wrong to me? I'm 100% certain it's right. It just looks wrong. Okay, so when we hover over it, you know what? Let's copy this. Copy this. Copy. And this will be hover, paste. And then this, let's make this unique. And let's change this color. Actually, you know what? No. Let's do this. We'll keep it green. But then when it's hovered, I just want to make sure this is still unique. It is. Okay. Let's make it a lighter green. There we go. Boom. So then when we hover over it, okay. And then also, can we scale it when hovered? Where's this? Border width. We can add border widths. We don't really care about that. Expand margins. We'll make this just a little bit bigger. So let's make it 8. We increased it by 3. Okay. So then when we hover over it, it doesn't grow. Okay. What else can we do to it? Okay, so that's the content margins. Expand margins, maybe, if we do this by 3. There we go. That makes it. Hey, look, boom, boom, explore. Okay. So then we kind of give our players a way to do that. Let's see. So we come in here. You know what? Let's go back to our. Oh, first, let's fix our rogue. Where is his starting equipped weapon? Here we go. Quick load dagger. There we go. Now he starts with a dagger. We definitely want that. Go back to our game manager script. Game manager. Where's our starting gold? We have 500. Start that at 0. Okay. So we start a game. We have no money. So we can't buy anything. Everything says, hey, you have no money. Can't buy. We go into rest. Heals us up. Oh, we should reset those while I'm thinking of it. Equip. So nobody has anything equipped, but now we can actually put their weapons back in. Okay, so that works. We got that. We can go explore. We can do this. We got our gold. We have our initiative order. Okay, we are. What am I forgetting here? What we need a loop. We need music. We need yeah. So I think right now I am starting to lose my voice. So I think I need to give it a rest. What I think we're gonna do is I had already stopped. I did a lot of extra talking today, so we'll call it a wash. But what we'll do is tomorrow we'll come in, we'll do our title screen, and we'll make sure that we can play. We'll add in our tiles, and then we'll see if we can make a playable loop. And then if that works, we can put this out for a what's a word that's like pre-alpha. Because we don't have like the potion doesn't work. We can buy it, but it doesn't do anything yet. We only have the 4 basic weapons. We only have 3 abilities for each character. You know, we're kind of missing some stuff to make it viable. But at the same time, I want to be able to, check to see, how does it work? How much fun is it? But we will add in our tiles, our full tile set tomorrow. So when we get into here, we can get into our tile editor. We'll build this entire thing out. So then we will have an actual entrance exit. I think we have a bug with the exit, but we'll figure that out. But we're going to basically do copies of these, and some of them are going to have enemies on them. Some of them are going to have traps on them. We did not add treasure chests and we did not add loot drops. Okay, so let's go back over here. Let's plan our stuff here. Let's add a card, add loot drops. I don't know if we'll have that right now. We need add chest. Yeah, I'll just do add chest. So let's see what else do we've got that. We've got the explore. Oh, we need a way. Right now our exit tile just comes up randomly. We kind of want to delay the exit tile from coming up. So we don't want it in the pool until a certain time has come up. So let's add. It was one of those things that if you ever go back and look at like the Diablo developers and they're talking about how they kind of messed up their dungeon generation because they never actually wanted the exit stairs to appear right next to the entrance stairs, but that's just how it happens sometimes. So let's add in a checker to delay exit tile. That one's going to be fairly easy because I'm going to put that in the current milestone because all that's going to do is going to say, hey, how many turns has it been? How long has it been? If it's, and we randomly select the exit tile, we're like, nope, let's go select a different one. But if it's been X long, then yeah, let's go ahead and add in the exit tile as a possibility. Um, so we got that loop. We already have gold dropping, so we can go back. The chest and the loot drops we can probably delay, but we need to build the items. So let's add in the card here. Build out loot for players to buy. Okay. So we need to build out something for them to buy in between runs each time they go into the dungeon. So then they're going to feel more powerful against the characters. And there's a bug that I need to fix. Fix orc. Oops. Fix orc 4x death. Okay. When I rebuilt the server, apparently I lost the code that automatically puts all this stuff at the top. So because right now the green orc, when it dies, it plays the death animation and then it resets and goes to all four things. I just need to fix the animation player, so that one's pretty easy. I and then I think we want to add in some basic sounds. Now, add basic sound. Okay. I'm going to put that in here because all we want to do just some simple music and some real, just simple like whack whack sounds, just so then there's some feedback, a hit sound, a whoosh sound, um, things like that. I'm not going to go overkill. I'll probably just make every single thing sound the same, whether it's an arrow or a sword, just so that we have some type of audio feedback for the players. Yeah, no, I think this is good. I think if we can get the tile library built, the checker for the exit, even that might be, I'm going to put this down here. That's a little bit lower, but we get some extra loot built out for the players to buy and some basic sounds. I think we have a basic loop that we can throw on itch to get an alpha test. I think tomorrow we should be able to do that. I hope. Where are we? Let's take a look. We're at 66 and a half hours. Okay. So I think we're good for today. Tomorrow morning at I'm going to switch back over to my other camera here. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 2 or 1400, 2 p.m. UTC time, I'll be streaming again. We're going to get everything wrapped up, and I'm planning, crossing fingers here, we're going to load this up to itch for some testing. It's You guys are going to see what it is. I mean, there's not everything's going to be in there, but we're going to have a simple loop. I want to get some feedback on stuff, especially the dice pools. Instead of using like a standard D&D plus 20 to hit or whatever, we're adding dice and subtracting dice. I want to see what the dice mechanic is like. Definitely there's no finality to anything. The UI can move and update and change and all that stuff. So we're getting there. I want to get some basic feedback because I want to tweak mechanics before I look at any type of polish, before there's any, fireball goes screaming across and all the lighting effects light up the dungeon, things like that. That's all polished stuff. No sense in wasting time on that if I have to change how other things functions first. So I think we're in a good spot, and I think tomorrow we're going to end it with a playtest. I'm a little nervous on that. I was hoping to get both Dungeon Fire Tiles and Castlevania, Simon's Tribute, out for playtest this week before I go on vacation. Looks like I'm only going to have Dungeon Fire Tiles out, but that's fine. So I think we should be good. But without further ado, have a good day, good evening, good night, wherever you are. And I'll see you again tomorrow morning, again, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. UTC. So catch y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.